This is Patricia. I wrote an article called Brilliant Ideas. Now, who is she to give us brilliant ideas? It's not like that. I had a video posted on acrylicpouring.com's YouTube channel, and it was about 10 mistakes that most acrylic pourers make. And on that comment section, I heard from a lady named Deborah Sherrill. I think that's how I pronounce her name, S-H-E-R-L. And her comment was just lovely. I mean, it was just fabulous. I read her comment and I thought, oh, my gosh, that's brilliant. I would have never thought of that. And I actually wrote that back to her saying that that's a brilliant idea. And of course, that got my wheels turning. And the next thing you know, I'm writing an article called Brilliant Ideas. Now, I didn't do this alone. I went on Facebook and I enlisted the help of other pourers that I've seen come up with great ideas, or just people that I knew were familiar to you. And I've asked them each to give me a brilliant tip or a brilliant idea. Some were reluctant and did not want to participate, and I honor or I respect that, so I didn't push them further, but you know who you are. And then there were a couple of people who were just so busy that they just haven't had time to get a response back to me. So if it's not in this article, I apologize. I waited as long as I could. So that's the premise for the whole article. It's about brilliant ideas and tips from me as well as other people. Some of the tips that I put in are things that I've seen on Facebook myself, like a lady who put about a year ago that she pours in her kiddie pool, one of those large, but I mean fairly small for like a 2-year-old kiddie pools out in the backyard, and she just has everything in there. She can pour, she can swirl, she can do whatever she needs to in there, and then the cleanup is a breeze, and she can even store everything in there as well. So a kiddie pool, if you need to do that, is a great idea. Another one was almost every single video I see, there's a glass of wine, a glass of margarita, a beer. This is a very soothing, relaxing hobby and profession for some, and it's a brilliant tip to have an adult beverage while you're pouring. Another thing is pantyhose. Now, I don't have a pair with me at the moment to show you, but I do have my handy-dandy Floetrol bottle, and the tip that I've heard about that, which is really clever, is that as we pour our Floetrol, we always seem to get lumps, and so you're supposed to shake it rigorously before you pour it into your container. But people are still complaining about the lumps, so someone suggested that you put a piece of pantyhose over the top of it before you pour. I guess a cheesecloth would work just as well, and that way when you pour, the lumps stay in the container, which I think is a brilliant tip. Hardware. Like most of you, I keep my colors that I use predominantly. Let me lower the camera so you can see this. The colors that I use a lot, I have in containers, and I have marked them with what kind of paint it is, and I choose to not add anything but Floetrol. I like to have a clean receptacle, and that way if I choose to put silicone or KY or treadmill oil, whatever I choose to use is going to be unique to that project. So these are just paint and Floetrol, that's it. But what's inside of them, as what's inside of my separate Floetrol bottle, my separate white paint bottle, and my black paint bottle, there's something that they all have in common. When I take this off to use it, it is covered with Glad Press and Seal. No, I make no money endorsing this product. I just think it is fabulous, not just in painting, but also in the kitchen. This little piece of Glad Press and Seal over the top keeps my paint in the proper condition that it needs to be, and it protects it for in case this is not sealing properly. The other thing that I do in here, aside from putting, this has white paint only, it does not have Floetrol, okay? I will take some hardware, like some screws or some bolts, whatever you have. Clean them first, make sure that they are free of any grime or dirt. Or if you have any of these luscious glass beads, they work just as well. I'm not going to put any more in here because I've already got 4 in there and I want to save these for my next container. But I dropped 3 or 4 in here, cover it with press and seal, put my lid back on, and then this, before I use it, it's a good shaking. And those pebbles or that hardware, the bolts that are in there, help keep things gelled, help keep things moving around, help the consistency flow well. So I have that inside of my white, my black, my separate container of Floetrol, of which I have 4 of these standing by because I don't like to lift up that big jug all the time. And I've got about 15 of these different paint containers, but I only brought out a handful to show you. Every one of them has either a series of 3 or 4 nuts and bolts, or a series of 3 or 4 beads in each one of them. So that is another brilliant trick. The other thing that I don't know if you really know about is how much I love this stuff. Let me show you. If I am pouring and I don't want to finish tonight, or I don't have time to finish tonight, I cut a piece of press and seal and put it right over the top. And this thing is airtight, nothing's getting out of this. And as you can see, I do cut it in sections so that I don't waste it. And then I can just rip it off whatever size I need to put it on. I have got like 20 of these sitting on my desk from a project that I just worked on. I use press and seal all over the place. I love this stuff. It also is a great tool to use if you're using a paintbrush. I do a lot of individual painting as well. If I use a paintbrush and I'm, needing to go answer the front door, or life just happens, I can take a piece of press and seal. Use this one up. And it's got a tacky side and a clean side. If this is full of paint, I can just put it tacky side down, and simply close this over, get a nice seal. Make sure it's pinched at the end so there's no air in there. And this brush is not going to get hard. This brush is going to retain the paint that's on it, and it's going to be safe and clean and ready to go. And when I get back from whatever I'm doing, simply take this off and I'm ready to go. There are a multitude of uses for press and seal. I highly recommend that you get some if you can, and if you're not in a place where you can get it, I apologize. I wish that, let me raise this up. I wish that everybody could, but I do understand that it's not available everywhere, and I'm sorry about that. So those are a few brilliant tips that I have for you, as well as some that I put in the article, and I encourage you to please read the article because you're going to see tips from, let's tell you who you're going to get tips from. From Deborah Sherrill, obviously. You're also going to hear from our founder, Debbie Coles, Charmaine Riches, Ross Rasmussen, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. He is the creator of After the Pour, Look What I Did to My Pour. Joanna Lush, Micah Kunert, Wendy Franz, Ming Zaleski, Sabrina Suave, Helen Yvette Heckman, Odetta Dixon, and Sanda Trumpfeller. Just a few of the folks that I reached out to, and thank you for giving your tips to me. I really appreciate you sharing, and that's it, folks. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it. Bye.